Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like it's been forever. This monumentous affair that's upon us. Episode 30 of the Prime Podcast. I am your host. That is your other host, Mr. Fats. Say
Yeah.
hello.
Yo, what's going
Hi.
on? Peace to the primates. You know what I'm
Yeah, the primates.
saying? And peace to you. What's going on there, Mr. Phildo?
I was sharp as a tack about 45 minutes ago, and then I started falling asleep in my chair waiting for you, and here we are now.
Okay. You know what? I'm
Mm,
sorry that I had to do that to you, but
How did?
my house is like overrun with people right now.
Okay, let's run through the list of excuses over the past 4 weeks. The house has people. The
Hey,
power is out.
yo,
I'm tired. I have to work. Blah 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 blah. Blah.
you know what's so crazy?
What?
The last time we tried this, so what's going on, guys? The last time we tried to record episode 30, I sat down and I was about to log into Zencaster to link up with East Coast, and all we heard was a loud pop and everything went dead. That happened to you before.
That happened that one time, yeah. And then,
Yeah, that happened
that
to you
was
before. While we
that was
and we were actually doing the podcast when that happened.
yeah. Well, when that happened to me, wasn't like the whole. Oh no, that wasn't the hurricane. That was a different
No, it
time.
was a different time. We were actually
Yeah.
recording, and all of a sudden, all I heard was meow, and you were gone.
Oh yeah, that's when everything went dark.
Right.
I ran into the thing on the wall. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are. It's episode 30 of the Prime Podcast. How's everybody doing? How's your mother? How's your father? How's your sister? How's your brother? How's your sister's ass? Everything like that.
Yo, before we
Good.
get any deeper into this podcast, I would like you to respect the fact that my team is undefeated, because you were talking very spicy in episode 29.
I just like breaking balls. I really don't got a dog in this fight at
I
all.
get it, but what I want you to do is acknowledge the fact that while you were breaking balls, you were totally wrong about my squad.
All right, if that makes you feel better, I was totally wrong about your squad.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let me ask you a question because I can't see you. Are you dipped head to toe?
No, I'm
in
not.
Buffalo?
I'm actually showing Yankee solidarity today because we are in the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
That's right. I have an SE bike shirt on. That's what I got on. That's my solidarity.
Yeah. I've seen you've been putting up videos of you riding your SC bike and taunting Sean at the same time.
Yeah, I write I don't. It's I'm trying to just not be as fat, so I try to get some exercise at like 5 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Right.
So I post a video of me riding the bicycle,
Right.
and I say, because Sean's not.
Right.
Could you imagine Sean waking up at 5 a.m. to do anything, let alone exercise?
Well, he wouldn't be waking up because that's probably when he's going to sleep.
I mean, it's sort of.
I mean, that's the best explanation I could give you.
I guess it's never. My point is never gonna happen.
Right, but you couldn't wake up to do something when you're actually going to sleep at that time.
I guess, yeah.
You know.
I don't know. He's very obese, though. He's a very fat man. He's a very obese man.
Well, speaking of obese men,
sure I do.
There's a 74-year-old obese man that has been said to have the corona.
I was like, where's he going with this? A 74-year-old, and then that's what happened. I saw that on the news. It's quite ironic, I would say,
right.
Since he's been, he's not been worried about it. If you'd listen to him tell it,
right.
He still seems like he's not worried about it. When they gave the update on before he got in the helicopter yesterday, he's like, "I'll be fine. I'm gonna go to the hospital."
You do a very good Trump discussing his health.
I didn't even do my Trump. I forgot to do I didn't really do the Trump voice. What is it? Donald Trump. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have it. I got to listen to some Trump. I'll listen to him trumping for a little while.
The nation has been shocked and appalled by the first presidential debate, and we were supposed to talk about that. That's when the power went out. But so everybody's shocked and appalled by the fact that it was such it was a shit show, basically.
You know what I did? I went back and I watched that one again, and I watched the first one with Hillary again, and I realized something.
What did you realize?
I realized that motherfucker is exactly the same person he was when he got here. And then I realized one more thing.
What'd you realize?
If you notice, I don't know how a lot of people when I looked through Facebook, a lot of people were blinded by what happened because it was like, when you watch that shit, I'm not even gonna front. The reason I rewatched it is because I couldn't finish it till the end
Right.
because my fucking head was spinning. Like I was like, all right, this is like an insufferable amount of fucking just bullshit going on right
Right.
now, and I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's frustrating. While I don't really particularly want to hear what any of them have to say so much, like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't listen to them both do that. You know what I mean? like at the same time, it's
Well,
like I don't know what the fuck either one of you is trying to say because the other one won't shut the fuck up, and neither will the fucking the moderator. So it's like,
the
Jesus.
the tactics though. The see the funniest part about and people get offended when it's like funny when people get offended when you call them a Trump supporter. But the funniest thing about Trump supporters to me is when I ask them, I'm like, well, what is his actual platform? The things that he's trying to do. And the thing about it is that every single time I hear him speak, it's like he's not a person that is eloquent in the ways of being presidential that we've been groomed our whole lives to listen to. He doesn't have a politician way of speaking. So when a politician tries to engage him, he's basically just being an antagonist. He's debating you from an antagonist position. But
Right.
then Joe Biden is trying to debate from a political stance and a political position, but like he's like a sunflower seed away from dementia. It
Yeah,
seems. So
he's also coping with the mental problems that he's going through
yeah,
right
but
now.
like the funny that's the thing. It's like it's so crazy because it made it look. You had this one guy who's basically coming from this antagonistic point of view. He's just basically trying to bait him into arguing with him. Not about
Well,
points, but just arguing back and forth. And and then you have one guy that's trying to bring out points, but he's like in and out. He's like first he's like laser focused, then he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
let me ask you a question. Who do you think won that debate?
Nobody. Nobody.
Okay, yeah, all right. So
I
upon
I believe that it was a cancellation.
all
You
right,
know?
all right, I initially when I turned it off, I felt like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But then upon watching it again, we saw a few things here. Now let me just say something. Now coming into this debate, what you know of Trump,
Mm-hmm.
um, has that changed after watching what he did?
No.
Okay. So with that being said, now Biden comes into this debate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this election, is this like Donald Trump has his base of people that are going to vote for him regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fact or fiction?
That's fact.
Okay. Now, Biden has all of the people that were going to vote the left. They were going to vote Bernie Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people that may have been watching that to decide if Biden could have the Bernie vote.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the people that are the Bernie vote are fucking flower child hippie motherfucking types, correct? Like the more
I guess.
right, like this liberal fucking
Mm-hmm.
pansy ass motherfucking kind of people. So now what Trump did, now whether this is strategic or not, Trump called Biden out on a bunch of shit that he fucking lied. Well, he didn't tell us he lied, Biden, But what he lied to Bernie supporters about, and when, I don't know if you recall, Trump was like, you just lost the left.
Mm-hmm.
He made Biden admit to the fact that he's full of shit to the left. So all of the people that were on the fence that are definitely not voting for Trump
Mm-hmm.
might have voted for Biden. Now, Trump doesn't need them to vote for Trump. Trump needs them to not vote for Biden. Okay? So if he could have made these people second guess voting for Biden in the first time around, all he needs to do is just hope his base comes out to fucking vote. If those people, because he already got his vote. Biden doesn't win on Biden supporters alone. Biden needs that extra shit to win this election.
Mm-hmm.
Biden's not just walking in there and fucking beating Donald Trump. And it's almost impossible to have this conversation without the entire world thinking that I'm this fucking diehard Trump supporter. But I've been saying this shit since day one. Tell me I haven't been.
You have, but
So,
here's I'm listening to you, and the thing that I'm saying, and the thing is, when the debate happened, Trump was already behind. Period. End of story. He was already behind.
in what sense?
He was behind in the
In
the
what
polls.
poll? He was up in every poll. That was the news told you he was behind.
Right.
When you actually look into the real places that tally this shit, he was ahead in everything.
Well, here's the thing. This election is a lot of emotion attached to it. Is it not?
I think that it's like that's all it is, really.
That's
It's
what I'm trying to
fucking,
tell you.
yeah.
This election, there's a lot of emotion attached to it. This election is there's a lot of people that are stone not Biden supporters, they're just Trump haters.
That's bad, dude. That's really
You
bad.
understand what I'm trying to say? This is
100%.
not
It's a
this
fact.
is not this is the rationale that I'm trying to give you. I'm not saying that Biden has all of this support and people are just believing in him. It's just that people hate this other guy. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
telling you, like people hate this guy.
I
And then
know.
there's people that love this guy. That's why the country is so divided. That's why the issues, no one wants to hear anybody talk rationally about issues. Is because people are emotionally attached to the stances that are going on politically right now.
Yeah, they are.
This is
I
it's very emotionally charged. Nobody is listening to rational issues. Nobody's coming to the table and saying, okay, that's a valid point. Well, let's see how that point stacks up to this. We're not arguing political points. People are basically charged up emotionally by the events that have been going on as of late. And you have to realize the world, but this country in particular, who has been stricken by this pandemic the hardest in the world, this country has been gripped by fear and depression and all kind of stuff, and there's a lot of emotion that is tied to the pandemic. People fearing not only their safety but their financial futures and all of this other stuff. Then you mix all of the racial divide into it and everything else. It's a lot of it's like the perfect storm brewing for this election.
Let me
And
ask you this question.
uh-huh.
What?
But those things that I just said, how do you feel about that?
It's a
Like
fact.
take
Everybody.
take the political side out of it and put all of
Yeah.
that.
All right. But this is what happens though. That is the most childish shit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Okay.
And that's where like you lose me on my good sensibilities. Like where I'm like, okay, boo-hoo. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the fucking day,
Mhm.
look at the situation for what it is. And all of that shit is valid, right? But um like the answer does not lie in the fucking in electing Joe Biden for president.
Right.
It doesn't. So just the same way, like when I'm scrolling through my feed yesterday, and you got these bleeding heart liberal fucks wishing death upon Trump and his wife and kids.
Right.
Like, so it's eye for an eye now? If it was eye for an eye, go out there and fucking, you hate the police, then get rid of all of them then. Overthrow the fucking government. If it's eye for an eye, right?
Yes, but I told you this before. I told you this before when we discussed his brother dying, right? And people were saying all kind of foul, crazy things about his brother, right? And I said, no matter how much you dislike a person, like wishing death on a person or lamenting in the death of a family member, that's straight childish. I said that on this podcast before, right?
Right. But this is the problem that is with that is that the people, like, they seem like the majority on social media,
Right.
the people that think that way,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, good riddance, fuck him, I hope he dies kind of shit.
Right.
These are the same fucking people that'll cry and put up a GoFundMe if their man dies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like somebody that they don't even know and they're just from their town and shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't understand the fucking. Yeah, I'm just saying like life in general. Like, hey, I'm not even expressing how I feel about the motherfucker and him having it. I'm just saying my observation. Now, if we're taking some moral high ground about why it is we're voting for a particular candidate, how could we have been full of such morality if we're standing here telling this motherfucker we hope he dies? And then how can the people that watch this want to respect your fucking views at all if you're a fucking person? You know what I'm saying? If you're a regular person that's not a piece of shit and you're looking at, people calling out for death on an entire family of people, and then you're supposed to stand here
Yeah.
and
Well,
respect the shit they're saying?
the
But
the the
they're
thing
acting like
is,
an emotional baby?
well, like I said, this whole thing, it's hard to find rationale when people are caught up in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation at work about about football. Now I love sports. I love sports. I love baseball, basketball, and football is definitely number one. Right
Yeah,
now,
football's cool.
again, in these sports, in professional sports, it's been like the narrative has been people wanting to address the racial injustice in this country. So now you have people that jump in their feelings, that jump way in their feelings and say, "Well, I'm not watching that if they're going to acknowledge." And I'm like, so basically, basically, you're going to deny yourself the pleasure of watching the competition because the league is acknowledging the fact that most of the players in basketball, most of the players in baseball, most of the players in football are people of color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not, and I'm not talking about just black. I'm talking about people that are Hispanic, people that are from the Pacific Islands, people from all over the world, people of color that are non-white. There are a bunch of white players, but there are a bunch of players that are people of color who are saying, like, listen, I feel for people from the places that I come from. So they want to acknowledge the injustices. So you, as a fan, say that, oh, well, that's their job. You're not supposed to exercise your political views at your job. And I said, but that's crazy when most people that work in a union setting like us, your union dollars are going to back political candidates because
Right.
unions endorse candidates in elections. So
It's
there's never a time, especially if you work for a labor union, where you say, "Oh, you're not supposed to endorse your political views on your job." That's hypocritical at minimum.
of course it is. It's the same baby shit I'm talking about. It's like this, obviously one side has way more of a fucking valid reason to be upset,
Right.
you know.
Of
But
of
it's
course. But
it's the same shit though. It's like,
the thing is you seeing that a lot of people are definitely very, very emotionally tied to the things that are going on. And the problem that I've always had, and I told you this before when the whole COVID thing was raging in New York. And the problem that I always had with the guy is that he's 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 a shrewd businessman that knows how to put people in position and then put his name on top of it. He's not the one making the moves. You understand what I'm saying? But he knows how to put that person in position to make the move. That's where his strong suit is. But the man is far from a leader. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. The country right now is suffering from lack of leadership. It's not someone who's going to pander to one side or pander to the other. Someone who is strong enough to have a political position, but who's able to bridge the gap to the other side. Now, that sounds like something that can't be done, but it can be because we've had presidents that were able to do that.
Like who?
That were able to have bipartisan relations.
Well, I'll agree that we've had presidents that were better representations of an adult on TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
But I'm talking about having bipartisan relation. Is
okay. Now,
basically
what does bipartisan mean to you?
bipartisan means that you're not just only my party, and I'm not going to work with the other side and screw the other side until I'm out. There
Okay,
have been
so
presidents that there have been presidents that had to deal because again, especially when you're outnumbered in the House and in the Senate, you have to now deal with the other side. By default, you have to deal with the other side.
so like which president are you referring to? Like
So you
they were
telling
all
me in your lifetime, in your 38 years on this planet, right?
yeah.
You've seen this type of turmoil in Washington.
All right. So in my 38 years, the only presidents that I could recall now, we probably go back to Reagan, right? So Reagan, the first Bush, Clinton, second Bush, Obama,
Right.
Trump.
Right.
Every single one of those motherfuckers, aside from kind of Reagan, because I was still kind of young,
Right.
but they had some sort of behind the scenes crazy shit that came out later. Reagan, I'm sure, had something too that I'm just not remembering. But including Obama. Now this shit that just came out with fucking the Russian shit where they were notified that Hillary fucking orchestrated the whole thing and Obama knew about it and that this is in documents that have just been released. Like, so every single one of these motherfuckers have done some crooked behind the scenes shit to make their agenda work for them. Correct? Right? The only difference is Trump is a fucking asshole about it. And he's retarded to the point where we expect him to be retarded. But he's doing the same exact shit all the rest of these motherfuckers did.
You're making excuses right now.
I'm not making excuses. They're all fucking crooked, both sides, every time.
Listen, that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is, even if it's just for TV, it has to be looked upon as leadership. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
just
but
because you're saying you basically telling me that, oh well, the guy's an asshole, so we're just supposed to accept it and say,
no,
all right,
we're not
this is the
supposed
standard. He's lowered the standard, so now we're supposed to say, all right, well, he's an asshole, but it is what it is. He's the president.
No, but
that's not.
it doesn't
That's not
change
acceptable.
that.
That's not acceptable.
What does it mean though? So put a fucking mentally fucking handicapped old bastard in there to
Listen,
further
if the guy is more well trained and the puppet masters, because let's just stop and let's not even act as if every president doesn't have handlers and people that are around them to tell them, listen, this is what it should be. And Trump has them too, but he's such an idiot that he has to go out. He has to go out and go beyond what his advisors are telling him.
Yo, Fatsy, so if we're electing his handlers, then okay, so Trump's handlers are obviously their politics are Republican and Biden is Democrat.
Right.
So historically, Democrats have done more terrible shit for this fucking country than any fucking Republican president has.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we're just gonna look past that though, because we don't like the
But
guy?
in the here and the now,
In
in
the
the
here and the
here and the
now, it
now.
doesn't matter.
But
It doesn't
listen,
fucking
yes, it
matter.
does. That's where do we live? We live in the past or we live right now.
Yeah, but this is like you got a big dick full of herpes and you just tell the bitch anything you got to say to slide it in. That's what they're doing, dude. They
Listen to
they got
listen to me.
you good.
What I'm trying to tell you is I just finished explaining to you how emotionally charged this thing is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now if you are talking about emotional, that we're not talking about people sitting there saying, "Oh, let's go into history and dig out facts," and people are beyond that.
Nah, dude,
People are
I'm talking
beyond
about
that.
politics, bro. The people that have an emotional attachment to this fucking election
Uh-huh.
must not give a fuck about what happens to the country
But that's what I'm
politically,
saying. That's what
which
a
is
part.
going to affect.
That's what the world is. Everybody's not on your level of saying I can separate my emotions from
Yo,
the
okay, so you think it's bad now? How fucking bad do you think it's gonna be when the fucking economy is a million times worse than it is right this second because of COVID?
well, it's gonna we gotta, there's gonna be some rough times ahead.
So do
And
we want to fucking?
everybody, everyone should look at it as I should be socking away as many pennies as I can. I should start tightening up my belt because we're going way past recession. We're going to depression. You understand what I'm saying?
You going to a fucking a one world government with a fucking a one world currency where everybody gets a fucking allowance and lives in a camp. That's where you're going with this bullshit that they want to do. Are
Yeah,
you
but
crazy, bro?
so you're saying
This
that the
is
only thing that's stopping that is Trump?
yeah. No, I'm Republicans. Republicans. That's the
Okay.
only thing stopping that.
So
What is
when he was questioned about the repeal and replace of Obamacare, and
right? And he
he
kept trying to fucking explain what he did.
stumbled and bumbled all over that.
I didn't hear him stumble and bumble. I heard what he said. And basically, what he said was
Mhm.
that he is trying to do away with what the fuck they did in this country with, say, if you don't have insurance and you need to fucking get medication
Mhm.
where these big pharma companies make fucking 80 million times how much more they should be making
Right.
off of something that should cost a fucking dollar. He's trying to do away with their right to do that.
Right.
Now, this is a major fucking thing. Now, most people that are underprivileged and don't have a certain amount of income can go get fucking Medicaid. They
Right.
just can't afford the fucking some of the drugs that they're written prescriptions for
Right.
because of the cost of them.
Mhm.
So if he did that, that's a major thing compared to what Biden wants to do.
Yes, but what about repeal and replace? This was 4 years ago. He was saying repeal and replace. That's the first thing he's going to do, right?
Well, I don't know enough about the repealing and replacing of Obamacare because I didn't have to
That's what
fucking
he
be on
ran,
it.
but that's what I'm saying. He ran on that platform. So
Apparently,
4 years later, basically he said, "What I did was I put someone in place to run it better."
I think he's again talking about money because if you remember when that whole shit came out where you would be getting we had nothing to do with this, you and I, because we
Okay.
never had to worry
You're
about it.
right.
But when the people that did have to deal with it, I remember my wife before I was married to her, she didn't have insurance. She had aged out of her parents' plan
Right.
and she had to pay a fine because she didn't fucking have the insurance. I
Right.
don't know how many people you knew like that
No, I
found
didn't know
themselves in
anybody
trouble.
like that.
Okay, so that's what happened. If you couldn't afford the crazy prices of the Obama plan,
Right.
then you had to opt out of insurance and pay a fine.
What was the fine?
It
I
was like $1,200 fucking dollars or something. But my wife obviously she had money and she worked. But to somebody that has nothing that can't afford
so
insurance,
basically if you didn't have enough to pay for the plan, you had to pay to not have the plan. That's what
they
you're
offered
saying.
this plan. Your choice was to take the plan or
Mhm.
provide your own insurance from wherever you can get it from,
Right.
or pay a fine. And if you couldn't pay the fine, they're gonna take it out of your fucking tax returns
So
if you
basically,
had them.
all right. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you look at it, this is what this is what people will ask you. What is his lasting legacy for this 4 years that we've had him, other than the divisiveness of what's going on in the country?
I mean, this is all like monetary shit to me.
I'm just
Just
asking, like, what did he
I
do?
mean, on paper, what he did was increase every facet of the economy until Corona hit.
Okay.
The
And
stock
and
market,
and you know what? To be honest, I'm not going to be one of those people that are going to be ignorant enough to say, "Oh, look at the economy now," because again, Corona hit
right?
and
And
everything
that's
else.
why I'll preface that with that. But until the whole Corona shit happened, jobs were up,
Mhm.
taxes were down for people. Fucking the stock market was performing better than it ever did. The
Yeah,
home
but the
market,
middle class, you and I, right? The people that, and I know for a fact because I know where I live, I pay more than $10,000 in property tax,
that
and I know that
property
you,
tax is
I
a
know that,
different fucking
but
beast.
I know that you pay more than 10,000 in property tax.
Yeah, but that's
What I'm trying to tell you is, as a middle class person, a working class person, right? He tore the legs out from under us with the way that the new restructuring of income tax is the tax returns, the way it's set up. There's a lot of guys, there's guys we work with that are ready to slit their wrists and jump off a building because not only were they not getting the money that they usually would get because they didn't have the amount of deductions that they would have had, but they ended up having to pay.
well, they ended up having to pay
Mhm.
because they didn't withhold as much money, and then they spent the fucking money.
Right?
Right. So it appeared that you'd be getting more money in your check.
Mhm.
But then when you don't have the deductions, your tax responsibility is not going to fucking change. You're still going to owe that money.
You're right. But what I'm
So,
trying to say is the amount of deductions that the middle class were afforded was slashed greatly.
well, I mean, I can't I'm only
Think
speaking for
about this.
me
Think
and
about this. If you live in a jurisdiction where the property taxes are low, then the deduction for the property tax was nothing to you. But if you live in a place where we live, where property taxes are high, and it's a $10,000 limit, and that's on, they group that in with whatever state tax you pay, up to 10,000 for whatever. So let's say you paid $3,000 in state tax, 4,000 in state tax, and your property tax is 17,000. You're still only going to be able to put $6,000 of what you paid in property tax into your deduction. So you get screwed on the rest of the tax that you paid. That's just free money.
yeah, no, I understand that, but this is also the case in where we live more so than anywhere else in the world. That's and it's
That's what I'm
because
trying
of
to say. But when you talk to people that are like staunch supporters, and I'm like, yo, the man just took he looked out for rich people and he put the dime on us.
yeah, but like I said, you're this isn't all over the world. This is New York. You live in Suffolk County, New York.
Right,
Any of these places in New York are really we've been getting fucked on taxes.
right.
So it's hard like I don't feel like this is a valid
It is
you
valid
know.
because at the end of all of that, if I see the fact that I cannot deduct certain things that I used to deduct before, that is basically hitting me in my pocket. What if I'm a person that I was on a system that I depended on a certain amount. Now there are people that I know, period, that their tax returns help to supplement them throughout the end of the year. To the end of the year. Then when they file again, that helps to supplement them throughout the year. If they're put out to a point where their legs get cut out from under them because their deductions have been cut in half or cut into a third, that's that's taking money out of the household of a family. That's taking food off the table. That's taking clothes off backs. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand fully, but I also feel like you're being withheld less money. You have to fucking pay the fucking what like are you overpaying your taxes or are you being underpaid in a salary? Like This is what I'm saying. Like on paper, if you figure this equation out on paper every year, like you're not losing money. You're just not managing your own fucking money the same.
You realize that the only people that had to deal with that are the people that just have to suck it up and take it. See, people that are wealthy don't have to take it because they have more of a voice. That's why those people and their tax structures are never augmented. That's why a person that's talking about, oh, I'm going to tax the rich, that's always like a sticking point. Like, oh yeah, really, you're going to tax the rich, and that always goes by the wayside. The people like us that can't really say much, what are you going to really say? You're going to just deal with it. They can't tax the
That's
poor.
it.
What are they going to tax the poor? They're not going to take anything from the poor because there's nothing
No,
to take. You understand?
but
They're
I
not going to
must
take
be
from the
either.
rich. They're not going to take from the rich because the rich are the people that they're there to support. They're going to take from the middle class, the labor class is who they're going to take from. And what is the labor class going to do? They're just going to take it and keep on going.
Oh, like I said, I don't know. I must be either rich or poor because I didn't really notice too much. Like I had more cash flow the past few
I'm
years
not
than I've
talking
ever
about
had in my
cash
life.
flow. You're not following me. I'm
No,
talking about the
I'm
tax laws,
following you. Yeah, I understand that, but at the end of the fucking year, I got to pay my taxes,
right?
and
Okay.
I didn't find a substantial change in what I would get.
There was a definite change because if you have over 33 lines of deductions and it's cut down to about 17,
I never
that's a
had
big
33
chunk.
lines of deductions.
Well,
That's
I mean, then I can introduce you to my tax guy. He can help you out. Well,
shit.
those times are over, actually. You
Yeah, I
know
don't
what
know,
I'm
man.
saying? Maybe you had the wrong tax guy all of that time.
Maybe.
You know?
I think I'm just not as rich as you. That's the only thing, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
You get them. Jesus Christ. Over here crying with a loaf of bread under each arm, this motherfucker.
Ah, man, go ahead with your Italian sayings, your old Nona sayings, man. Listen, man. All I'm saying is that I'm
That you
I'm
hate
not
Donald
I
Trump.
don't
I
I'm not
get it.
saying that I hate him. I'm not what I'm saying, what I've been saying all the time is at least if you're gonna be a certain way, fool me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, he's never gonna fool you, bro. Because
Fool
could
me,
you
man.
imagine?
You know?
Could you imagine him coming out just a gentleman? Get
Listen,
the fuck out of
I've been saying this all the time, and I think it's a saying that everybody's heard, and I believe this. This is a very staunch belief that I have. The left and the right wing are on the same bird. Like period. End of story. Everybody thinks that it's like these over them, and they're the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? There's
I
people
hear
that
you.
have agendas and trying to push agendas, and that's basically it. What I'm saying is when you see, I look at it from a worldview because we've traveled the world, and I look at it from a worldview. I don't look at it from a view like America is the only place that's watching this guy. The first thing I look at is the fact that other countries look at us in a way of how strong they perceive the country is the head. You know, End of story.
Yeah,
Whatever the leader of said nation is, that's how you first perceive the strength and the might of that nation, the competence of the nation, the education level of that nation. Whoever they put in place, if the guy that they put in place is a shyster, you look at them as a shysty nation. If you look at the guy in place and he's diplomatic, they're a diplomatic nation. If you look at the guy in place and he's like a dictator, then you look at them in that way. What is it that people see when they look at this guy and the way he carries himself? That's
they
my that's
this
my
is the
point.
thing, and this is a lot of the problem that a lot of other countries like China and Russia, two powerful countries,
Right,
they look at Donald Trump and they have to fucking China must be feeling a certain way that they had these fucking sanctions placed on them
right,
that they can't make the same amount of money that they used to be able to make off America because he stopped that. Now you'd think they'd want to fucking blow us the fuck up, right?
right. Of course.
They won't do that because why? It's not because of Trump. It's because we have one of the most powerful fucking armies in the entire world. and we'd fucking blow them off the map if they tried.
Yeah, but that's
Russia's
the thing. But the point that that is always, I always like.
you're getting into more feeling shit. Of
No,
course
it's
they
not.
don't
It's
like
not.
it.
It's not feelings. It's basically, it's like image is everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Image is everything. Within your borders and outside your borders, image is everything. You know, the thing about it is that when you are, it's different when you're like right now. America is feared. We're not respected. Who
Right,
respects
we've
America?
sort of been that way forever. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump is the most accurate fucking representation of this country's reputation ever. He's a loud, obnoxious asshole. Rich. That now when you go to every other country in the world, America's got this reputation and people see, obviously the culture, the cool shit of America in other countries and they want to be it. They learn how to speak English by watching our TV and movies. They dress like us, they act like us. Everything America is the fucking shit when you're from some other country.
Okay.
There's no other country that's like I want to be from fucking, Guatemala. I don't want to take on any American
You
fucking.
don't want to be from Uzbekistan.
I'm saying, look at fucking, look at that motherfucker, Borat.
Yeah,
He just wants to come to America.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is what happened, dude. It happened a long time ago before we got here.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know. That's my
He's a
problem with him.
fucking dick. He's an
That's my
asshole.
problem with him. You know what I mean?
That's
Uh,
everybody's problem with him.
uh,
That's a
I don't. But again, I'm still not one of these people also that are gonna wish the guy death or wish ill will to the guy.
no. I
I've
mean,
said this before, and I've never said it publicly, but I always felt this way. It doesn't matter who is in charge. You can dislike the person, you can like the person, but you have to respect the person. It is what it is.
yeah, you have no choice.
You have
That's the
no
thing
choice.
about it.
Because that is the person that is in charge. So
Especially now, it's too late to start thinking about choices and shit when we've gotten this far, and these are the candidates we're left
right,
with here,
but
Biden and
even on a small scale, whether it's management, union leadership, whether it's clergy or whatever, it's whoever's the one that's leading the charge, you have to support them. And that's what the problem is. There's too many people that feel like they don't have to respect the head. And that's the reason why this country is the way it is. Because people feel like if they don't like what's at the top, just go around it. You understand
yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
it's running in a fucking big circle though.
Right.
That's the thing about
You
that.
know, I that's another thing. You know, this is a it's a topic that is definitely, it's a polarizing topic, but again, a lot of people, like I said, it all boils down to emotions right now. Nobody's really listening to points and talking points and everything else like that. Everyone is still, like I said, Cam Newton just tested positive for COVID. Like 11 of the Titans, the Tennessee Titans, and some of their staff tested positive for COVID. They're starting to have to. They had to postpone a game in the NFL. Cam Newton can't play this week. They're doing all kind of contact tracing with him and everything else like that. People are still afraid because now, like even in the city in Brooklyn, they've had pockets of flare ups within like certain communities, mostly in the Hasidic Jewish community, right? Because
Mm,
they feel like they govern themselves and they're sovereign to the things, the laws of the land. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
yeah.
but people, like I said, people are still very afraid of this monster that's going around and affecting humanity. You know, and then we have humanity that has no respect for itself. It's like people are just out here feeling like, well, you know, I can be as racist and as divisive as I want because now this is the climate. I can say the most vile and crazy things. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like my son, plays soccer. He's in this thing where he goes and plays soccer every Saturday. It's a bunch of kids, and they dress up and they run around, and it's good. It's a good thing. Now most of them are Caucasian. There's a couple of Hispanic kids, a couple of black kids, and everything else like that, right? And the craziest part about it is amongst the parents, amongst the children, there's a lot of camaraderie. You see some kids that are faster than others, some kids that are just more athletic than others, but they're all out there just having a great time, no matter what their race, nationality, or background is, right? And the purity of that is so amazing. And I'm like, how is it that you could see that as a grown adult, the purity of the relationship of these kids, and not try to carry that out into the world?
Well, because people, as they get older, they get filled with this emotional baggage
Mm-hmm.
that everybody keeps. It's funny you should say that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because at the very same time, in the last breath, it was these people are mad, these people are this, these people.
Right.
That's your answer. That's
Yeah.
exactly, and it'll never go away. It's
Mhm.
been like that forever, and it will stand the test of
The,
time
sa-
until
the
everybody.
saddest the saddest part about it is that these innocent children will at some point be infected
Right.
this
We all
behavior.
start off
You know.
innocent. We don't start off this way. It's just everything happens, and then it's the world, the news you watch, the people you're around, and it tells you what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. If you're not strong enough mentally to make your own fucking opinion, you're just gonna eat the shit that they fed you.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And that's it. And you're gonna perpetuate this cycle. That is until we fuck ourselves into the same color, which is probably only a few decades away. Uh, so that's basically what's gonna happen. It's an inevitable. This is what the
Yes.
Ku Klux Klan warned us about.
See,
That-
and that's why I continue to give my little niece there lollipops and treat her great and
that's
show
right.
her how good and lovely a black man can be, and she's gonna grow up with with an affection for large black men because she's got blunkle fats. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine with me, man. I don't care. As long as they make money and they can take her out of my house at 21 and put her up somewhere.
Right.
I can't just be having her float around forever and,
No,
eating
no,
my food
no,
and
we don't want that.
u
We don't want
using up my electricity and shit.
no, we don't want that. But
I'm
uh, just a sidebar. Um, I was looking at some pictures you put up because you just celebrated your wedding anniversary,
Mhm.
and
That's right.
I was looking at the actual pictures of when we came to your uh wedding, you know?
Yes. That was my wedding.
Yeah. And I
That's
was
right.
and I was looking at like the whole backdrop of everywhere we went to take photos, and I was like, this guy is a real rich guy, man. I swear. I didn't know that I was rubbing elbows with so much money at the time. You know what I'm saying?
I had a lot of money back then.
Yeah, I really didn't know. I really didn't know because everywhere I was looking where we used as a backdrop, I was like, this is like incredible. You know what I'm saying?
Only the best for my queen.
What'd you
Only
guys
the
do?
best.
What'd you guys do
What, for my anniversary?
for your anniversary?
Well, I watched the children and my wife went to work, and then,
Uh-huh.
I ordered, Water Zooey, my favorite restaurant.
Okay.
Well, her favorite too. She got Thai mussels, but we're going to Montauk for this. She has to work. My wife, she can't just be just calling in sick for her birthday and
Right.
anniversaries like some people
Uh-huh.
do.
Right.
Like we were afforded the opportunity to do that, but when you work for yourself, you can't do that because then you don't get paid.
Right.
So
So
we're
you
gonna go
going
to
out to
Montauk.
Montauk? What do you got, like an Airbnb out there?
Oh, we got a hotel, or whatever,
Okay.
Montauk something in. I forget what the fuck it's called.
Mhm.
But we're gonna go out there. We're gonna fucking. They got like lots of attractions you can go to. Not like a theme park. It's like the fucking big tower thing, and some other state park and some other fucking, I don't know, place where some guy rode a boat 2 million years ago. I
Right.
don't know. We just go out there. We have my mother-in-law who watches the children for us,
Right.
and we're so very grateful of that. Because aside from that, like we went last year, but aside from like that one night out of town,
Mhm.
we are children all year long. You know what I'm saying? We don't really get away
Mhm.
at all, me and her. So last year was the first year we went to Montauk, and then I said, "You want to go to Montauk, sweetie pie?"
Right.
She said, "Yes." So we'll go again.
Right. Well, that's good. You
That's
guys
right.
recharge those love batteries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Don't
gotta.
get those googly eyes without having a little body in between you. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
amazing feeling. Amazing.
I don't remember what that's like.
Hey, listen,
Mm.
it doesn't get any better. Let me tell you, I'm a couple of years ahead of you. It doesn't get any better. You know?
Yeah, you could build these little bastards their own room. They still want to fucking come sniffing around your bedroom. Hey, what are you guys doing in there?
Yeah, yeah,
Mind your own business.
yes,
Go to bed.
yes. But that's how that goes, man. That's how that goes.
Oh yes, and so it goes. We'll find the fucking nice little restaurant to go to dinner to out there too. I'll drop a small fortune, and then we'll go home.
Now, see, here's where I have a question. Do you guys go out and have Italian food when you guys go out?
No, I mean, out there for sure we're gonna be eating seafood because
Of
that's the
course,
name of the fucking game.
that's
So
that's the name. You can't go to
I mean,
Montauk and not have seafood. That's crazy.
no. So I don't know if it's. I don't. I can't. I'm not gonna ask. Who owns this restaurant? Are they Italian?
No, no, no. What I was saying is, like I have a thing. Like I always like people that are close to me. They know I have a thing. I do not order chicken when I go out. I just don't. I don't care how good the chicken is. I don't. I. It is very rare. It has to be like I'm in a mood for like chicken franchise or something like that. But and even with franchise, I'll try to order veal franchise before I order chicken franchise. You know, uh,
Yeah.
I don't order chicken because I always say to myself, self, at least 4 times out of the week, we're eating chicken in the house.
I had that thought to myself
It's
once
like
too.
if I'm always eating chicken, now I have the chance to go out. I'm gonna go now and order the same thing that I would eat at home. I should have just stayed at home.
I've been eating a lot of fucking chicken, bro. That shit hit me in the head one day. I was thinking about it. I was like,
Right.
chicken, 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 chicken. If somebody wanted to kill a motherfucker, they could just poison the
Just
chickens
poison
because
the chicken, yeah.
they
But you have to
just
think
eat the
about it.
chicken.
How many meals do you cook a week that feature chicken in some kind of shape or form or fashion?
I had when I had this thought, I had chicken every day for like a month.
Right.
Chicken, 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 chicken,
Right.
chicken,
So now
chicken.
if we went out, just even a boys' night out, right? Now the only time I will say chicken is acceptable is if we're going out as a bunch of boys and we're going to howl at the moon and we're going to have beers and drink and eat chicken wings. Yes, we can do that. Right? That's
No, we're
acceptable.
gonna we're gonna go out and get some steaks,
No, but I'm just saying,
some
if we're
chops.
gonna go to the bar, go to the bar, and and have some beers and some chicken wings. All right, that's fine. But I'm talking about if we're gonna go out, like I said, now we're just going to do some business or we're just going to hang out and chill. Like you said, I'm ordering steak, I'm ordering fish, I'm ordering lamb, I'm ordering
Rack.
something.
Gonna get the rack of
Yeah,
lamb.
I'm ordering something that is not chicken. It's
I don't even know if I want seafood tomorrow because this water zooey I had the other day,
right,
I got the fra diavolo,
right,
and that's the with squid ink pasta.
right.
It was mussels, clams,
Mm-hmm,
calamar, crabs, shrimp,
mm-hmm,
and I'm just like seafooded the fuck out.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I might change my tune up completely when I'm at that, wherever I'm at.
But
But
a
I've been
surf and turf
dying
would
for
be good. A surf and turf would be good. You could break up the monotony, get a
yeah,
nice little steak
that's
with a
true.
lobster
Uh,
tail. You know what I'm saying?
Lobster tail, yeah. I've really been wanting rack of lamb though. I just been fiending for it. I had it a couple weeks back when I took her out.
Right.
Shit, it's probably like over a month ago now. but that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, rack of lamb is definitely a flavorful bite. Very expensive though, you know.
There is no cost that I will put on a meal that I will not
Oh
pay.
no, I'm just saying that's it. Don't be thinking that you're gonna go get lamb chops and it's gonna be it's gonna be an affordable dinner. You know,
It's all right.
you're gonna pay a
I got a
couple of
couple bucks,
you're
you
gonna
know.
pay a couple
Got
of dollars for that thing. You know what I mean?
Hey, if it's good, it's good. If it's dog shit, then I'm gonna tell them straight away. Listen,
Hey,
I haven't, you know.
did you see the new Tahoe?
Yes, I did. I did see it.
So here's the thing with that, right? I was,
Right.
you know, a lot of people may know because you've talked about it. You guys own a Traverse, right?
Right.
And a lot of people don't know. My wife and I also have a lease that is coming up, and we were looking into getting a Traverse as well. Uh, Dave, this is the first time I've ever seen them style the big truck after the little truck.
When I drove past it,
It's usually the little truck takes on the styling of the big truck. You know what I'm saying?
I thought when I first drove past it, I was like, "Is that the new fucking Traverse?" Because it looked like the
It
shit.
looks like it, right? That's what I'm
But the
saying.
new, the 2021 Traverse, I don't know, man. I kind of like that shit more than the fucking Tahoe now. The shit,
But
the
this,
lines that they did to it.
but this is what I'm saying. Have you ever seen it done like that, where the big one takes on the styling of the smaller one?
No, I guess it's just the lines, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
the Traverse is a pretty big truck to begin with.
right. But it's still
So,
not the flagship truck. The flagship truck is the
uh,
Tahoe.
yeah, I think we're getting out of the Traverse though, because we were sitting there talking the other day, me and Danielle, and
Uh-huh.
that shit, the lease is coming up on that, and I'm like, what do you want? I don't know. I saw the Cadillac. There's a new Cadillac. I'm like, all right,
Oh,
the
the
XT6.
XT6. Yeah,
It's built on the Traverse body.
it's on. Yeah, it's the same platform.
But yeah, that's
Well, it's
so I
different, way different lines though.
yeah, the lines are different, but those lines are more similar to the new Traverse that's coming out.
Oh, okay.
The 2021. It's good. And obviously, the Cadillac looks like the Cadillac,
Yeah, but
but
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Even though it's the same platform and probably uses the same parts, it's definitely gonna have the styling of Cadillac though. But she wants
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I call these motherfuckers and they advertise a price, and I call them. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it right now. No, well, we don't have that one in stock, and all right, so how much more is the other one you got? It's like 300 or 400 a month. I'm like, the fucking thing was 500. You gonna add another 400 to the fucking? Get the fuck out! And you want 5 grand down? Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here! Call me when the base model comes in. I'm not buying this car. I'm leasing it. Fuck you. And now they've called me every day since to
Every
tell me
day.
that
Yes.
they didn't get it yet, but they have the other one.
Yes.
Like, I don't need a fucking
The bait
$800 a month,
the bait and switch. You know that's
but
how
it's
it
like,
is.
dude, it's an $800 a month, $500 car.
Yeah, but see, here's my point. That's what would make me go right back to the Traverse because, like, I can go get damn near fully loaded Traverse for a base model Cadillac. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the base model Cadillac is a fully loaded Traverse.
Yeah,
So
but it's still
that,
what I'm saying is the pricing of the fully loaded Traverse would still be less than that base model Cadillac.
mm, somewhere a little bit more. Her brother, when we first got our Traverse,
Mhm.
her brother got the fully loaded top of the line. I think it's called like black something. It's got the
Yeah, I
black
know what you're
Chevy
talking
thing in
about.
the front.
It's got the black flags on it and everything
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And the shit was like $900 a month. I'm like,
Oh my.
get the fucking Tahoe. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's good to
listen,
have money, man, where you could throw away a grand a month on renting a car. You know what I'm
but
saying?
he told me he went in there for the fucking Tahoe, and the dude was like, nah, you don't want that. You want this. Because this is right when the Traverse came out.
Right.
And they sold him on it. And he ended up fucking halfway through the fucking lease getting a Benz. So that didn't work. So
So
I
yeah.
don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do or what she's gonna do. Ultimately, it's gonna come down to the fact that I ain't paying that much fucking money a month.
Hey,
So
you know what's really nice? I don't know if you've paid attention to it. I've tried to get my wife to pay attention to it, but she's so like, you call me bougie. Huh. I tried to get her to pay attention to the Kia Telluride.
Yeah, it looked cool, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
the
the way it
fact that
looks.
it's a KIA, my wife was like, "Yeah, never. We're never getting
Yeah.
it." I'm like, "Wow, okay. Check you out, uppity." You know?
She don't wanna tell nobody she got the new Kia. Come on.
That's what I'm saying, like, check her out. I'm like, "But it's a nice truck," you
It
know?
really does. It does look nice. I walked past one in the parking lot. I was like, "What is this?" And I came around. I was like, "Kia?
Yeah,
Tell her what?"
I was like, "It's a nice looking truck," and she's like, We're not getting a Kia." I was like, "Huh, okay. Check you out, huh?"
In her defense, a couple years ago, my sister Nicole had a Kia,
Mhm.
and the fucking something went wrong, and they fucking jerked her all around on the climate control system. She had to spend on a lease. She was in there. They had her spending like $1,000 to fix something. I'm like, are you
On a
crazy?
lease? Are you
I'm like,
kidding
that ain't your fucking car. I would be like, yo, this your shit's fucked up. So I'm just renting this thing
Yeah,
from you. So
basically, that's all it is, a long-term rental. What
I mean,
and they had her paying for the climate control system?
she came, yeah, she told me she had to go in there and spend all kinds of money to get the shit worked out. I'm like, yo, you're bugging. You should have let me go in there with you because that's fucked up.
Yeah,
That's not your car, yo.
yeah,
That's not yours.
that's basically
You
that's what it is. This is
you
your
making repairs and shit.
car. Yeah,
Fuck that.
if that's
I'm
messed
not
up,
even.
yeah.
This Traverse is going back before them brakes fall off because they're squeaking like a bitch right now. Them them shits is like, "Eek, eek, eek." I'm like, "Nah, we ain't fixing them, sweetie. They're going back. We gotta find this car because we ain't doing
Are
brakes."
you within the miles? Because, I blew through the miles
Yeah.
on this car
Yeah,
we got.
dude.
I blew through those miles like crazy.
The fucking salon is like a mile from my house. And she ain't, we drive it like we'll drive it when we go to Montauk and shit. I put miles on it if we're going somewhere, but we don't really go nowhere like that
Right. But yeah,
that
that's
often.
what but remember, my wife was driving from here to Brooklyn every day.
Yeah, that shit racks up, dude.
Yeah, so
It's hard to lease a car when you like. I was doing that a bunch of times.
I was like,
That
"Oh."
Subaru was like fucking 20,000 miles fucking over.
Well, that's why I had to that's why everybody's like, "Oh, you got." I had to go buy the 3rd car because it was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. We killing this car right here." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, it was like,
yeah.
let me just go get something that, yeah, rack the miles up on this and leave that one, you know. So now we're about to take that one back and we're about to get another truck, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get another Toyota. I want to get something else. I'm looking at other things, but like I said, I tried to point out the Telluride, and she was like, no way. Then I looked at the Infinity, and I was like, do I want to give them all of this money? But that Infinity truck is a beautiful thing.
What, the 60?
Yeah, the 60, it's a beautiful thing, man. But they
It
want
is
they
nice.
want a lot of money for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And with Infinity, they make you carry the highest possible premiums on your insurance.
Yeah,
It's like
'cause
100,
yeah,
300.
because the cars, everybody drives them like a-holes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my dude, when I got that shit, my insurance went through the motherfucking roof.
Mhm.
That's
Because
how I'm
because those cars are like little rockets, man, and everybody drives them as such. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they know.
yeah.
Those things are always wrapped up around something or flipping over and everything else. So they're like, "You know what?
Jesus.
You know what? You gotta carry the highest insurance that we carry for this, for liability because you know."
Cause you finna wrap this around a tree.
Exactly.
All right, we're at an hour and 3 minutes and 46, 7, 8, 9 seconds.
Yeah.
And we would just like to thank you for joining us on this 30th episode of the Prime Podcast.
Wow.
I hope you enjoyed us because we enjoyed you.
All right. Peace.
Bye bye. See you later, alligators. Where's the button? Let's hit the button.